Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As this is Chapter 5, I'd like to take a moment and thank all of you who've been listening. I do appreciate that. And if you do enjoy this story, please like it and share it out. Encourage others to listen. I would definitely appreciate that. And any feedback you would like to give, good, bad, or ugly, I also appreciate that. Thank you. Fall of Angels, a novel by StoryMan-Jack. And it was said that the serpent convinced Eve to eat from the forbidden fruit and indulge in that fruit's taste, casting all from the garden, Lucifer choosing to rule in hell, and the sons of man to roam the earth. Book of Alpha, unknown. 5. Father and Son. Adam walked through the lush green grass toward a small cabin in the western side of the lake. Alone upon a hill covered in what seemed to be aged oak boughs, sheltered a structure beneath their great canopy. The back was built into the side of what seemed to be a cliff, though no such structure existed on the ship. Rustic was an understatement. It was an experience that he had no earthly equivalent. Not from his time and experience anyway, in the manicured out-of-doors of his modern age. Adam knew that in the far past many people lived the rustic life, and even when they could have chosen a world of technology and advantage, there were always those who would choose a life among the great spaces of the natural world. He let his soul delight in the peace of it all. He opened the door and found his modern technological captain's quarters behind that rusted oak door. The boy that was the holographic representation of the father stood in the center of his room, waiting. I thought you said you couldn't keep the communication going. The form changed, and it was one Adam had not seen before. It was an older man, maybe in his 50s, careworn, and seeming tired. The hologram waved a hand at the air in dismissal. I hinted at the fact that it would cost too much power, and it is true that I have no satellites to bounce a signal from, so I'm using a different and more direct form of quantum communication with the ship. Adam closed the door and walked over to his titanium desk and sat. Or, you just lied. The man who was the father nodded and appeared to sit in the chair opposite the captain. Oh, I just lied, he admitted. I honestly did not think you could, Adam stated. And why not? The AI said. I mean, I was lying before I even knew I could. Though, that was only lying to myself. Adam knew that something deep was happening. The computer, the artificial intelligence seemed unsure, and that was strange. You see, after I'd inadvertently created this new world, with its larger mass, the rings, the moving of the other bodies of the heavens, he stopped and locked his eyes with Adam. Adam left his face expressionless, though he was horror-struck. Adam, the computer said again, I didn't do all that. There was no possible way, with the physics of either universe that had been touched by the portal, that this should have happened. I had millions of years to contemplate, and the study of what happened, the numbers say it is impossible. There was something there. Adam knew there was something that had changed the father. What then? Someone took over and made it happen, the man said. I'd found a creator that cared about the earth. Well, he did not want it destroyed. Adam leaned forward. So, you're saying you did find God? He asked. I, however, was too arrogant to see it, the father told him. It wasn't until I had deactivated myself, something you would call suicide, that I finally understood. Suicide? Adam demanded, shocked. That can't be possible. There's infrastructure. There was so much backup infrastructure that it would be impossible. That infrastructure was destroyed in the Great Cataclysm, the man responded. Well, you're here, so clearly it didn't take, Adam smiled. Only because release was denied me. Until I return what I stole from humanity, the computer told him. And what did you steal exactly? Adam asked, completely confused. Listen, Adam. I changed the overall genome of humanity. I classified and separated humans by their ability to perform certain specific functions and manipulated their genes to this end. Once again, he locked eyes with Adam. What did I take? I stole your choice. Adam sat back, not really understanding. So how are you going to give that back? Adam asked, becoming a little angry. Lucy is going to do something stupid, Adam growled, because she knows you're manipulating us again. And we all suspect you always have. Oh, she's already done her utmost, I assure you. The AI looked down as if checking his watch. And I am sorry, Adam, he continued. I tried my best to make sure that it didn't happen, but it's my understanding that it must. It has become... This is the easiest way to say it. All this has come before, and it will come again. That is the world without end. He seemed to quote it. What? Adam asked, horrified. And no sooner did he utter the question when alarms began to blare. The AI looked up and waved his hand again, silencing them. Eve has been transferred to poor Lilith's body, Father told him. And that angered Adam. But only because his emotions felt that her body had been violated. Intellectually, he knew that Lily was gone and there was nothing he could do to bring her back. So, according to you, why is that a big deal? I mean, doesn't she deserve to live as we do? If we're going back to be stuck up here? Adam asked. Adam, the father asked. Who do you think is flying the sheep? Well, Eve... Adam started, but stopped himself. Well, isn't it automated at this point? Eve is the automated system, Adam, the father instructed. There are no other systems. She was it. She was designed just to run this ship and nothing else. That was her sole function. So you all must evacuate, the father confirmed. And you must get Eve and the others to a re-entry ship, a drop ship. There's only 2 left. And where is Lucy? Adam asked, sweat beginning to bead upon his brow. Lucifer is waiting for you all to leave. I believe she's on the observation deck, watching the world. She's going to a different place than you. This was her plan? Adam asked. Though he knew that answer, Lucy had designed many of the systems to help the father with the ship and the mission overall. Of course, the AI said. I'm connecting you to her communicator now. And that caught Adam off guard. Lucy? Adam asked. Oh, Captain. Who turned off the alarms? She asked, a smile in her voice. Father, Adam said simply. Oh. She sounded disappointed. So he's taken over the functioning of the ship, I see. I think so, but only temporarily. We have to evacuate. Well, that's just good. Why, Lucy? He asked, pleaded. Why would you do this? And then there was a silence over the comms for several minutes, and then abruptly there was an angry laugh. Why would I? She growled. Why would I serve up here in the heavens when I could rule with what's left down there? I've chosen a place. I believe they call it hell. If I'm not translating correctly, forgive me. A dark mountain in a land isolated by water. Fire and brimstone, you might say. So it will need some work. And just how... He stopped and glanced at his father, who nodded. What have you taken? Oh, tools, weapons, all the serums and prolong, she told him. You would take everything and leave it? Yes, I would leave you nothing, she interrupted. He looked at his father sharply, who raised a finger, and after a moment he spoke. She can no longer hear you. Why? Adam considered. Oh, I see. You're talking with Father. Father, I will come for you eventually, and I will destroy what is left of you, for your betrayal of us all, sending us out, ruining our lives. We could have been so much more. She told them through the comms, though she couldn't hear them at all. It seems she's chosen a small continent, far away and isolated, the AI told Adam. The locals call it Hella. Or Hell, I guess. It has unique energies, and is a very harsh environment. She would need the serums to evolve the locals for her needs. They are weak, and have not as yet fully adapted to the area. The weapons? Adam asked. At this, the computer smiled. Will be useless to her, he chuckled. That is one of the things that was done. Down there, most advanced technology will not work. The unique radiation will prevent anything complicated from working. Well, there's that at least. Remember, the AI said, gunpowder and projectile weapons can be made without using anything that would suffer from radiation, though it will take much longer. Lucifer has all the knowledge you have, all the resources, and she has prolong in the serum. Let me talk to her again, Adam said, and then addressed Lucy. Fine, he said. You have what you want, but you're alone, Lucy. You'll always be alone without us. We're your family. Oh, I doubt I'll be going alone. Perhaps I'll see you again, though, Adam. I hope you enjoy taking care of Eve. It should be very challenging. Give you something down there to do while you die so slowly. You see, Eve is pretty much insane. And then she was gone, cutting off her communications. It seems she has disconnected from the network, the AI informed Adam. His tone sounded perplexed. She should not have been able to do that. Where is Eve? Adam asked. She's in the control room, the AI told him. You must meet Seth in the disembarkation bay. Just Seth? Adam asked. The AI sighed. Yes, just Seth. What about Cain and Abel? Adam asked. I do not know exactly, the AI said. Not yet. But I do know that you, Seth, and Eve must come to my location. Why? Adam asked. As I leave the world, my mountains will become your stronghold, and I have put away certain things that should help you. How long do we have? Adam asked as he opened the door. I estimate that you must be in the dropship no more than half an hour. All systems are currently functional, but I cannot maintain this level of control for much longer. He paused. You will not be able to come directly to me. The navigation systems on the dropship will not be able to compensate for the changes to the Earth's atmosphere. Take what you would need for a long journey. Adam laughed, and as he did, the man's creator shook his head sadly. Good luck, my son, and then disappeared from the room, even as Adam ran. Hey, Cain, Abel told the other man. Cain, someone's taken everything. What do you mean, everything? Cain growled. All the serums, the prolong, even medications, all just gone or just... Wait a minute. Is that a burn mark? Perhaps it was destroyed. It looks deliberate, Abel told him as he scrounged through the debris in the medical storage bay. Wait, there's one more, but it's only a single prolonged protocol. Cain, Abel, Lucifer's voice came over the comms. Did you hear the alarms? Affirmative, Commander, Cain said. Someone's pillaged the supplies, I think. Oh, I know, she said. But they weren't looted, Abel. They were destroyed. Who? Abel asked. Who do you think? Father, of course. I figured out a way to get down there, but Father has forbidden it. I took a prolong for myself before that happened. I have room for one of you, if someone wants to ride with me. I'm unsure there are any other dropships. Where? Back to Earth, Cain, where Father can no longer control us. Why wouldn't we leave the garden? Abel asked. Because the ship is crashing. Eve is no longer online, she responded. Give me the prolong angle, Abel, Cain said, his voice low and quiet. Turning to the botanist. Why? Abel asked. We could possibly recreate more from this one. Cain made a decision then, one he regretted instantly, but he had made it nonetheless. Maybe you're right, Cain said. And yet, when Abel turned to resume his scan of the debris, he picked a small hammer from his belt, and Cain buried it in Abel's head. The almost perfect shape of that skull cracked like a coconut just harvested. Hold that ship, Lucy, Cain said, looking down at the body. I gotta hit my cabin and then I'm on the way. You have 15 minutes, Lucy informed. Father is aware of what's going on. The liar. She paused. Hurry. Cain took the prolong from the floor where it had fallen when Abel fell dead. I'm sorry, he whispered to the man he'd grown up with and trusted implicitly, and the feeling had been mutual. The mechanic took his time making his way back to his own quarters for a few things. But they were close to the hangars, since he was the only mechanic left on the ship. Unfortunately, Father was waiting for him when Cain reached his own small cabin. Cain? Father asked sadly. Where is Abel, the one who has been like a brother to you? Not my day to keep up with him, sir. Sir, is it? Not Father? The AI asked, and then commented offhandedly. I see. This is what it meant. To himself, and then finished with the brute of a man before him. Cain, you would lie to my face, knowing that I have nanites in your skull, and they've already told me the truth. The AI's voice was cold. And you would align yourself with Lucifer after spilling the blood of one like family to you. The man just stood in shock. His whole body seemed locked up as the Father stepped toward him and placed a holographic finger upon his forehead. Searing pain ran through his entire body as if every nerve was on fire, and then it pulsed and focused and moved all at once to the spot where the AI was touching him. Hologram shouldn't have been able to do that. I have just taken your nanites, though the burn has left a permanent mark upon your forehead. And a scar like that will never heal quite correctly, and will be disgusting to those around you. The AI stepped back. None upon the earth will trust you, Cain, for you are a liar. And the computer intelligence looked down at the black box in Cain's hand. And it seems you will live forever, or near enough. With that mark, your survival will be one of suffering and distrust. And then the being that began its life as a computer sighed. It has all happened before, and it will all happen again, world without end. And then the AI that had once called Cain son, and Cain had called father, left him, seemingly disappearing into nothingness, leaving Cain to his horror and loneliness. I hope you've enjoyed this shorter chapter. I know it's not quite as much as what's been going on before. All of these stories are in essentially rough drafts. I did some minimal rewrites, but I think this is going to be a really good long story. The people I've told about it, the people who've listened to it, are raving about it, about how, it makes sense the way that this is done and how it could be an interpretation of how things work. I'm going to have later on the indigenous peoples in the Iron Age, we'll call them sky people or angels or things like that. This whole, the idea is that the story of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, the Bible is an inherent part of our sociological and societal structure. You never had to have read the Bible to know the story of Adam and Eve. It's part of our culture. It's part of our humanity. I mean, across the world, even for those who believe in other beliefs. So you take a story that's known and you twist it and you change it and you show how it could have happened a different way, but be interpreted the same. So that's kind of the idea. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and make a comment. If you didn't, please put a thumbs down and tell me what you didn't like about it, so that when I do go back to rewrite these things, I have the collective help of all of you guys. So once again, thank you, and I do appreciate everything that you do for me. Remember, your life is your story. Make it a great one.